Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're here on site filming episode 4 of the race car. And we got a comment about our last episode where we weren't showing enough of the race car during the episode. So here we are. Here's more of the race car. More to come as well. But before we get into that, I want to bring up our buddies at Spunks. Rollins is now sponsoring the race car. Would you keep up with that motor?
Yeah, the motor should keep up, you know, but I mean, we're just gonna focus on handling and making the car go fast with a lower horsepower motor for now, and run pump gas, which we might be one of the only cars, maybe the only car running pump gas and not race gas. And just gonna go out there and see what we can get out of it the way it is, and then maybe down the road build a motor for it, you know.
And people like that get excited about this type of motor. Why specifically?
I think there's just some excitement over having something besides one of those old dinosaur 2.3 or 2-liter Pinto engines. I mean, you know, there's a lot of figuring out that had to be done in order to fit this thing in the car. You know, what transmission was going to work, and what clutch was going to work, and was the starter going to work, and what ignition were we going to run, and you know, all that stuff. But luckily somebody else, you know, we bought all that R&D time. You know, we got a car that runs and drives, and somebody else did all the hard part of figuring that out. So, but it's been fun to see just the excitement about having this motor in the car.
Yeah, what's unique about it? You said something about the transmission bolting up.
Yeah, well,
everything working out.
Yeah, it came out of a front-wheel drive Ford Focus, so turning it inline and having to bolt it up to a rear-wheel drive transmission. I mean, there was no forum or instruction manual on
They don't make those.
what parts were going to work for sure and what wasn't, just because it's a Ford to a Ford to a Ford. I mean, you know, nobody knew for sure. You know, the splines on the output shaft going to work, and you know, is the offset on the starter going to hit, and you know, is the flywheel going to work? Just lots of stuff that I'm glad I didn't have to figure out.
So what's the horsepower at it now, do you know?
Oh, well, I think I was told that this thing chassis dynoed at 157. So I don't know what the torque numbers were, but you know, 157 horsepower is probably just enough to keep up. And
what's it weigh?
Haven't put it on the scales yet, but there's another driver in this thing last year who was a lot smaller than me, and they said it crossed the scales at 2,100 pounds, and that is with the driver. So that's, I think, what the minimum weight rule states, you know, is 2,100 pounds. And I'm going to be 150 pounds heavier than that kid was. So, and by the time we're done adding some bars here and there and putting some new sheet metal on it, you know, we'll just get the scales out here and see what it actually weighs.
Yeah. So what are you going to do to compensate for the loss of horsepower?
All you can do is just maintain momentum. I mean, the track has a new surface this year, and nobody knows what it's going to be like. You know, they added a little banking, they put a fresh surface on it, so there's going to be a lot more speed to be had. But the track has always been about maintaining momentum. You know, it's more about not slowing down than it is accelerating. So you can add power. Sometimes that's not always the best solution. You really got to focus on making all 4 tires work for you. And then the driver's got to be able to go out there and get every last drop of speed out of the car with a good setup in it. And then if you can, we like to joke around and say, like, if you can't go out and just flat foot it all the way around the track, then you don't need any more power than what you got.
Can't fight. Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. That was a blast. Had so much fun out there actually helping John out with the car with welding and grinding and cutting and getting everything ready for the practice that's coming up at the end of the month. I want to give a huge shout out yet again to Spunks. They are now sponsoring the car, so check them out. Go to spunkstore.com, buy their seeds, I'm telling you. You're missing out if you haven't already. And as usual, subscribe to our videos for more, and we will see you guys next time.